Magandang buhay. So today, I'm going to discuss to you geometric sequence wherein it's a continuation of our lesson last week. Okay, so we are now on objective number 3 of the geometric sequence wherein we're going to determine the nth term of a geometric sequence. So ito muna yung i-discuss ko sa inyo. Okay? So itong objective 3, meron siyang tatlong lesson. And these are the geometric means, the nth term, at saka yung sum of the terms of a given finite or infinite geometric sequence. Okay, so we will be focusing on the nth term of a geometric sequence. So let's have first a review about geometric sequence. So pag sinabi natin geometric sequence, it's a type of sequence wherein to get the next term or to obtain the next term, we are multiplying the common ratio to the preceding term. So, ulitin lang natin, to get the next term of a geometric sequence is we're going to multiply the common ratio by the preceding term. So, sa madaling salita is ang operation na ginagamit natin here in this sequence, in this type of sequence is multiplication. So, magmo-multiply tayo dyan ng non-zero constant. So, pag sinabi natin non-zero, the common ratio, pag sinabi natin non-zero, ang tinutukoy niya dito is the common ratio. So, pag sinabing non-zero, that means the common ratio must not be equal to zero. It can be any number except zero. So, pwedeng ang common ratio natin is negative, pwede siyang negative, pwede rin siyang positive. It can be a decimal, or it can be in fraction form, or in radicals. Pero hindi siya dapat zero. Okay? So that's the restriction for the common ratio ng isang geometric sequence. So ngayon, punta tayo. Last week, we discussed about on how to find or on how to solve common ratio. So ngayon, let's have this one. So, paano ang pagkuha ng common ratio? Let's have a recap. So, pag kinukuha natin yung common ratio, example lang we have 3, 6, 12. Tsaka 24. And so on and so forth. So, how do we solve or how do we find the common ratio of this geometric sequence? So, para makuha natin yung common ratio niyan, the formula is R is equal to the succeeding over the preceding. So that means, pag sinabi ng succeeding, that's the after, and then preceding, that's before. So, ibig sabihin nun, kung pipili tayo dyan, ang ating numbers, consecutive numbers are 3 and 6. So, dito, ang ating succeeding is 6, and then the preceding will be 3. Okay? Ayusin lang natin yung ating pencil. So, kunin natin yung common ratio niyan. We have R is equal to succeeding, which is 6, over the preceding, which is 3. And then, if we have this given, we have 6 over 3, 6 is divisible by 3, so that means we're going to divide this by 3. So, 6 divided by 3, that is 2. So, the common ratio is 2. What if naman, if ang ating given is decreasing? Dito, increasing to, while this is in decreasing form. Pero same pa rin ang given natin, no? Start lang tayo sa 24, 12, then 6, and then 3. Okay? So, this is in decreasing form. So, what do you think will be the answer for the common ratio here? So, magiging answer natin dito is in fraction form or in decimal. So, ang sagot dito is in fraction or decimal. Okay? So, ngayon, instead of getting the decimal form, fraction na lang. Basta ang makukuha natin must be in lowest term. Okay? So let's get the common ratio, which is R is equal to S over the preceding. So, pili lang kayo ng number dyan. So, let's say, ang pipiliin ko is 3 at saka 6 na lang kasi mas mababa yung number na yon. So, ang R natin, ang succeeding here is 3 and then the preceding is 6. So, succeeding is 3 over 6. So, 3 cannot be divided exactly by 6. So, ang gagawin natin is we're going to simplify this by getting its lowest term. So, isip kayo ng number na pwedeng mag-divide sa 3 and 6 except 1. So, the answer is 3. So, both silang divisible by 3. So, 3 divided by 3, the answer is 1 over 2. So, this is 1/2. Okay? So, napansin dito sa common ratio. Tandaan, if the given is in increasing order, the answer is always a whole number. Except 0, ha? It's a counting number pala. So, tandaan, pag increasing, counting number yan. Yung makukuha nating answer. So, kapag naman decreasing, ang sagot natin for the common ratio is fraction or decimal. Okay? Now, let's proceed in finding the nth term of a geometric sequence. So, here's the formula for finding the nth term. So, we have a sub n is equal to a sub 1 multiply r raised to n minus 1. Okay? Where r must not be equal to 0. And understandable naman na it was given on the definition of a geometric sequence. Diba? Sinabi naman, it's a non-zero constant. So that means it can be any number except 0. Okay? So, pag sinabi naman nating a sub n, that's the nth term of a geometric sequence. Or pag sinabi nating nth term, it can be also the last term. O kaya pwedeng ito yung hinahanap natin. Example, find the 18th term of a geometric sequence. So, that means 18th term, the position of that is a sub 18. Okay? So, a sub 1 is the first term. N is the position number or the number of terms kung hanggang saan yung pinapakuha sa atin or pinapasolve. And R is the common ratio. So, alam na natin yung kung paano kunin ang common ratio. Okay? Let's have now example number 1. So, let's write the first 4 terms of the geometric sequence whose nth term is given by a sub n is equal to 3 multiplied by negative 5 raised to n minus 1. So, parang ito yung formula niya. So, di ba, yung formula kanina, wait lang, let me erase this one. So, yung formula kanina is, change natin yung color. Yan. Ang formula natin kanina is a sub n is equal to a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1. Tama? Yan. So, isosolve natin yan. Pag sinabi natin first 4 terms, that means the notation for those terms are the following. We have a sub 1, that's the first term. A sub 2, second. Third term is a sub 3, and the last term is a sub 4. Kasi ang pinapahanap ay first 4 terms ng isang geometric sequence. Okay? So, ang given natin, ito yung binigay na formula. Kumbaga, substitute na to. Okay? So, let's solve. So, tuturuan ko kayo ng two-way or dalawang method para makuha natin yung 4 na first 4 terms na to. So, dun muna tayo sa pinaka mahirap. Okay? Ito yung magsasolve tayo. So, let's solve a sub 1. So, hanapin natin yung a sub 1 muna, no? So, letter A sub 1. So, ang binigay na formula is a sub n is equal to 3 times negative 5 n minus 1. So, pag sinabi natin a sub 1, that means ang n natin is equal to 1. Kasi, sabi dito a sub 1, ayan. So, that is n. Diba? Kung babalikan natin yung formula, ayan yan. So, ang n natin is yung 1 yan. Okay? Yan. Okay? So, let's solve. So, ang n natin yan, magiging 1 yan. Is equal to 3 times negative 5. Ang n is 1 minus 1. So, substitute na natin. So, ang papalitan lang natin dyan yung n. So, start muna tayo sa exponent based on the PEMDAS rule. So, pag sinabi natin PEMDAS rule, P muna, parenthesis. So, since we're not working any or inside the parenthesis, magpuproceed tayo sa second step, which is E for the exponent. Okay? So, start muna tayo. Simplify natin yon. So, we have A sub 1 is equal to 3 times negative 5. So, 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay? Next, work pa rin natin yung exponent natin. Dito na tayo nyan bago tayo mag-multiply sa 3. So, ngayon, we have here negative 5 raised to 0. So, pag sinabi natin negative 5 raised to 0, that means any number raised to 0, example, A raised to 0, except A. Ang base natin must be equal to 0, ha? So, kapag daw ang number or any variable raised to 0, the answer is always equal to 1. Okay? So, except 0 yung base, no? So, example, 2 raised to 0, the answer is 1. 100 raised to 0, the answer is 1. Quantity, negative 7 raised to 0, ang answer is always 1. So, any number except 0 raised to 0, the answer is 1. So, nandyan yan, lesson yan nung grade 9 kayo. So, law of exponent yan. Zero law of exponent, no? Okay? So, we call this the zero exponent rule. So, ano tong zero exponent rule? Any number raised to 0 except 0 is equal to 1. So, that means, magiging 1 ito. Magiging equal to 1 yan. So, magiging 1 yan. Then, we're going to copy 3. Ito, bababa lang natin yan. Times 1. O, ngayon, answer na natin. So, 3 times 1. So, we have A sub 1 is equal to 3 times 1. So, the answer is 3. So, yan na yung A sub 1 natin. So, balikan natin to. This is now 3. Sulat natin. This is 3. Okay? Next, let's solve A sub 2. So, A sub 2 tayo. Letter B na tayo. Solve A sub 2. So, same pa rin. So, we have A sub n is equal to A sub, This is 3 times negative 5 raised to n minus 1. So, ang n natin dito niyan is 2 kasi 2 yung hinahanap. Second term. So, A sub n is 2. Let's substitute n by 2 is equal to 3. Multiply negative 5 raised to 2, substitute, minus 1. Okay? So, PEMDAS rule pa rin tayo. Start muna tayo sa exponent. Okay? So, we have A sub 2 is equal to 3. Multiply it by negative 5. So, 2 minus 1, the answer is 1. So, kapag 1 yan, if you still remember yung rule natin, kapag 1 yan, example nyan, let me write this here on the right side. Kunyari, we have x raised to 1. Diba nagiging invisible 1 na to? So, magiging x na lang yan. So, automatically, the exponent of x here is already 1. So, another, 3. Yan. Kunyari 3 lang, raised to 1. So, instead of writing 3 raised to 1, magiging invisible yung 1 dyan. So, magiging 3 na lang yan. Okay? So, lahat ng number na may nakikita ka, ang kanilang exponent is 1. So, ganun lang yan. So, magiging invisible niyan to, itong 1 na to. Kasi isang negative 5 lang yan eh. Yan ang ibig sabihin niya. So, A sub 2 is equal to 3. So, magiging negative 5 na lang yan. So, invisible 1 na yan. Yung kanyang exponent. So, ngayon, pwede na nating i-multiply yan. So, 3 times negative 15. So, a sub 2 is equal to negative 15. So, 3 times negative 5 pala. The answer is a sub 2 is equal to negative 15. Okay? So, this is now negative 15. So, dalawa na lang. So, we have a sub 4. Let's solve a sub 4 at saka a sub 3. Start muna tayo sa a sub 3. So, ano sa tingin nyo ang n natin dito? N is equal to 3. Kasi hanggang 3 terms lang tayo. So, we have a sub n is equal to 3 times negative 5 raised to n minus 1. So, let's substitute n by 3 equals 3 multiplied by negative 5 raised to n natin ay 3 din. So, 3 minus 1. So, a sub 3 is equal to 3 multiplied by negative 5. So, what is 3 minus 1? So, the answer is 2. Okay? So, we're going to work out yung exponent pa rin dyan. So, let's rewrite a sub 3 is equal to 3 times, ngayon, work out natin tong negative 5 raised to 2. So, ano ibig sabihin ng negative 5 raised to 2? Ang ibig sabihin niyan is, we're going to multiply the base twice. So, negative 5 times negative 5. Yun ang ibig sabihin niyan. Okay? So, what's the answer? Negative times negative, the answer is positive. Yan, pag nag-smile yan, di ba? Nag-smile. Then, 5 times 5, that's 25. So, we're going to put 25 here. Yan. Yan. So, now, we can multiply 25 by 3. So, 3 times 25, tatlong 25, the answer is 75. So, a sub 3 is 75. Ganun lang siya kadali. Last one is a sub 4. So, a sub 4 na tayo. Last one. So, a sub 4. So, may naisip na ba kayo ng other way para ma-solve natin yan? Sige. Okay, so the value of n here is 4 kasi a sub 4 ang hinahanap natin. So, let me rewrite again the given formula. So, 3 times negative 5 raised to n minus 1. So, we're going to substitute n by 4. So, 4 is equal to 3 times negative 5. N is 4 minus 1. So, solve natin yan. A sub 4 is equal to 3 times negative 5. So, 4 minus 1. Let's work this one. So, 4 minus 1 is 3. Yan. Oops. Wait lang. Nawala. Ngayon, anong ibig sabihin ng negative 5 raised to 3? So, that means, we're going to multiply negative 5 ng tatlong beses by itself. So, negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5. Yun ang ibig sabihin niya. So, negative, start working muna sa sign. So, negative times negative is negative. So, yung negative na yan, multiply mo pa siya doon sa negative doon. Okay? Ay, positive pala to. So, negative times negative is positive. And then, this positive, multiply pa siya doon sa negative. So, the answer is negative. Okay? So, 5 times 5 is 25. So, 25 times 5 again. So, 5 25, that's 125. So, the answer there is a sub 4 is equal to 3 times negative 125. So, what's the answer? So, tatlong 125. So, the answer there is positive times negative. Negative. Start muna sa sign. Baka makalimutan. So, tatlong 125. So, 25 na tatlo, 75 na yon. Then, tatlong 1, that's 3. So we have a sub 4 is equal to negative 375. So the answer is negative 375. Right? So that is now, those are now the first four terms of our geometric sequence whose term is given by this formula. Okay? So ngayon, meron bang alternative way dyan? Instead of solving lahat ng a sub 1 to a sub 4? So what do you think? Of course, meron siya. As you can see, ang given natin, so dun muna tayo sa alternative way. So, as you can see, our given is a sub n is equal to 3 times negative 5 raised to n minus 1. Tama? Ngayon, we're going to compare this to our formula. So, let me choose another color for this. Yan. Diba, ang formula natin ay a sub n. Ang formula ng geometric sequence ay a sub n is equal to a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1. So, ibig sabihin, if you're going to compare this, makikita mo na dyan na katulad niyan, yung a sub 1 natin is 3 na. So, kung babalikan natin yan, yung nakuha nating a sub 1 ay 3 na rin. So, ibig sabihin, meron ka ng given na a sub 1. So, ang given nating a sub 1 is 3. Right? Ito na yun, no? Ayan na. Ngayon, to get a sub 2, tsaka a sub 3, and a sub 4, meron na rin given na common ratio. So, ano yung common ratio natin dyan? The common ratio is negative 5. So, diba sinabi natin based on the definition of a geometric sequence, to get the next term, we should multiply the common ratio by the preceding term. So, i-multiply lang natin yung common ratio dun sa naunang term. So, yung naunang term is 3. So, ibig sabihin nun, magmumultiply lang tayo since given na yung a sub 1 natin. So, magmumultiply tayo dyan ng common ratio which is, ano yung common ratio natin? Common ratio is negative 5. So, magmumultiply lang tayo dyan. So, what is 3 times negative 5? So, we have negative 15, which is similar doon sa nakuha natin kanina. So, another, again, multiply na naman natin the preceding term by the common ratio, which is negative 5. So, here, negative times negative, the answer is positive. Then, 15 times 5. So, 15. So, 15, 15, 30. So, 30, 4 na yon. Tapos, 60 na yon plus another 15. So, the answer is positive 75. So, again, multiply na naman natin yung preceding term by the common ratio, which is positive times negative. So, the answer is negative. So, 75 times 3, we will get 375. So, same lang siya nung kanina. So, instead of solving it ng ganitong way, we can try another way or this alternative way. Since given yung a sub 1 natin and the common ratio. So, sa tingin nyo, anong mas madali? Ba? Okay? So, see you on the next example.